I guess I can go live.
One of the major reasons why climate change is such a crisis is because of positive feedback, which I know is something that a lot of you maybe have never heard of before. For anyone who's unfamiliar with the concept of positive feedback loop is when any action reinforces itself, making it continue. Think about a snowball rolling down a snowy hill. One small push makes the snowball bigger, which makes it heavier and more fast. You get the concept? Right, okay, good. So these positive feedback loops occur in the natural world, and a lot of them have gotten kick-started in our natural
Hi, Becky.
climate change. So I'm going to give you two examples. The more that we let the ice caps melt, the less sunlight and heat they reflect away from the earth. This lets the heat stay near the earth's surface, melting the ice caps even more. So less ice allows more heat to stay, which means that more ice melts, and so on and so forth. So that's one. I'm going to keep going. Another one is water vapor, actually greenhouse gas. It does the same thing as carbon dioxide. So the more that we let our atmosphere warm up, the more water can evaporate into the atmosphere. This then furthers the greenhouse gas effect and keeps getting even more water. And then the planet gets even warmer, so on and so forth. You get the picture? Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for responding.
I'm gonna be right over there.
So there are tons of these cycles that make the climate crisis increasingly difficult to solve, and every minute we wait it gets harder. Right now we're lobsters in a pot of heating water, and we can climb out, but with every minute that we sit idle and inactive, the harder and more effort it's going to take to make a change. Everybody here has the ability to make some change. Those who don't know or aren't able to act the way that we are. So thank you. You're all very wonderful. Register to vote at this table if you can. Cecily Lisa is 13 and 7th grader here at Wake Fleet in Portland. For the past year, she's been coming to strikes and rallies and city hall meetings after learning how urgent the climate crisis is.
Thank you all for coming out here today. My name is Cecily and I'm the 7th grader here in Portland. My family is and always has been very outdoorsy. We've been hiking and playing outside for as long as I can remember, and I've always loved the natural world. Both my parents are teachers. My mother is an elementary school teacher and my father is a middle school science teacher. They both feel strongly about educating their students and me and my brother about the environment. All this has led me to be here today. Although I have been aware of climate change for some time, and while I knew it was an issue, I didn't realize fully how important it was. The climate crisis seemed to grow more and more apparent as I got older, so in 6th grade I decided to take action. This year in science class we were studying climate change, and a lot of my classmates agree that this is a serious matter in class. However, outside of class I have sometimes heard jokes about it. Maybe they're scared or feeling overwhelmed, but this is not a funny matter. This is a crisis and it's frustrating to hear the jokes. Although the thought of climate change is a terrifying thing, we can make a difference. Like I have to use electricity that's dependent on fossil fuels. My family has made simple and affordable changes to our house to make it more efficient, and we have reduced our carbon footprint by 97%. Every one of us here today has made changes in our lives to help reduce our carbon footprint. It is also our responsibility to encourage others to do something. They can be as simple as the following. Replace old light bulbs with LED lights. Reduce your meat consumption. Remember to turn off lights when you aren't in a room. Unplug electronics when they are fully charged. Use reusable utensils, cups, and straws when possible. Reduce your use of single-use plastics, and research other ways you can do your part. Although all of these things sound basic, when we all do them, it can make a huge impact. But one of the most powerful things we can do is keep fighting for major climate action by showing up to things like this and continuing to spread awareness and educate others.
Probably right here.
Thank you.
It's gonna be so epic.
Anthony Marvin and Sophia Webster are going to lead us in some songs. Anthony Marvin is a hub coordinator of Sunrise Portland, a lifelong resident of Maine, and is fighting for a just, equitable future. Sophia from Sunrise Movement. Since Sophia has been involved with Sunrise, she says it has given her so much hope for the future.
Right?
Tomorrow, can y'all hear me in the back?
Yeah!
Tomorrow, I turn 25. To the adult ally, I ask you to think back to when you were my age. What kinds of things were you thinking about most? Health, a career, planning a family? I know I speak for a lot of people in my generation when I say I would love to have kids one day. But frankly, it doesn't feel right bringing another human being into a world where I can't guarantee us a safe future. Science shows we have 10 years to take dramatic action before the damage we've done to the climate becomes irreversible. What could that mean for humanity? For you, for me, for our families? For my friend who wants to move to Miami to pursue a music career, but is too afraid of natural disasters. For my friend who needs an insulin pump, and in the case of an extended power outage, would be without the pump that she needs to stay alive. Back when I was 13, it was a beautiful sunny day. My mom and I went out for some ice cream. Stepping out onto the porch, the wind made me cold. I turned around, grabbed my jacket from inside, and let love off to sleep. The door, I went in, slammed it closed. I go to open the door,
You're good.
and it's just neither my mom or I could get that door stuck shut. I go around by the back door to no avail. What was now a full-blown thunderstorm had locked us at our own house. The trees were practically sideways. This storm was not entertaining anymore. One in particular across the street was looking particularly sideways. It missed our house, but laid straight across the street. I chewed my nails to a bit as my mom stepped across live power lines to get to our neighbor's house to make a call. Did you know that live power lines carry an electrical charge strong enough to cause serious injury or even death? This is just one example of one storm that got just a little too close. My parents still live in that neighborhood full of tall trees, all with the potential to wipe out people's homes, cars, family members. I would never want to get the news that my family was made homeless because of a fallen tree. I realize extreme weather like this will become more common
grocery store and corner market will brim with fresh and local produce grown by workers who are paid a living wage. High-speed, wind-powered rail so that we can bring travelers to see the world while minimizing our footprint upon it, that stops in every rural town so that young people can go to the jobs created in this process and feel like there's a future for us here. I dream of a world where we can celebrate the earth rather than mourn or slow down. Where there are green spaces down every alley, rooftops, gardens on every rooftop, purifying our air, turning it into clean, breathable oxygen. I believe in a world where we can trust our leaders are making decisions that prioritize the health and well-being of all of us. By declaring a statewide climate emergency, Maine will be a leader in this country, and we urge to act upon our current goals. I know this world isn't beyond our reach. We just have to decide we are worth it.
Bring it up, my friend Izzy. Sunrise, comrade. Now sing a song about striking. Right? Right. All right. Ready? Okay.
Yeah, I guess it is an hourglass. This is the logo for Extinction Rebellion, which is like
Strike for you, strike for us. We're gonna strike 'cause the waters are rising. We're gonna strike 'cause our people are dying. We're gonna strike for life and everything we love. We're gonna strike for you, will you strike for us? Will you strike for us? We're gonna strike for you, will you strike for us? We're gonna strike 'cause our waters are dying. We're gonna strike for life and everything we love. We're gonna strike for life, will you strike for us? We're gonna strike for you, will you strike for us? We're gonna strike for you, will you strike for us? We're gonna strike 'cause the waters are rising. We're gonna strike 'cause the people are dying. We're gonna strike for you, everything we love. We're gonna strike for you, will you strike for us?
awesome singing.
Cassie Kane will be our next speaker. She is 23 years old and 350 Maine's Youth Engagement Coordinator. Through this, she works with Maine Youth Climate Justice and Maine Youth Climate Strikes, support the work and help uplift communities.
Hey everyone, how are you feeling? Yeah, okay. So feel free to like jump around, you know. Yep, cool. Cool. Yeah, it sucks being here. Great. So like Anna said, I work for 350 Maine. It's an intergenerational grassroots organization that fights for climate justice.
Sorry, Mr. Boss. I was under the impression that left
The great thing about 350 Maine and being part of this
I was too. I'm glad I called you.
we're here today is that I know it's insightful to hear deeply about the justice aspects of this movement. I know these organizations understand that the climate crisis has been treated as systems of oppression towards marginalized communities, exploitation of nature, and white heteropatriarchy. We are all working for a future where climate crisis is no longer an issue, and we want to do so in a way that is just and doesn't leave anyone else behind. So although the climate crisis makes things look bleak and easily fills us with dread, anxiety, hopelessness, all that, at times I still have hope that things can get better because I know that this movement is being led by youth and committed organizations like the ones here today. I also know that there are many adults out there who are fighting with youth and absorbing our senses of urgency into their lives more. But with this hope, I also know we have to do this right, that we can't let up until more communities in Maine are treating climate change like the crisis it is, and that the state of Maine has declared a climate emergency and implemented policies that reflect this declaration. To do this right, we also have to push for change that is fair for everyone. We need urgency, but we also need a just transition and true systems changes. Leaders and policymakers can't put pressure for turning the climate crisis around solely on individuals and individual actions. When the fossil fuel industry and other corporations have created systems that put profit before people for years. For example, in Maine, you can't tell folks to drive less and expect them to still function in rural spaces without providing adequate systems of public transportation. We can't have 2045 and 2050 deadlines for going carbon neutral or phasing out fossil fuels for places like the U.S. The state of Maine should adapt bolder timelines like the cities of Portland and South Portland recently did after youth demanded that they do so in September, aiming to be carbon neutral in 2030 because 2030 timelines are the ones that give youth and frontline communities the best shot at livable futures. And when Maine begins to switch to more and more renewable energy for timelines that meet the urgency this crisis requires, Maine and other states in New England should be relying on energy that leads to further oppression of marginalized groups and major environmental damage, just so another corporation can continue profiting off of exploitation, but now under the false pretense of being green. For example, in Maine, we can't tout hydropower from Canada as a solution for New England. When the dams this energy is coming from are destroying indigenous communities, traditional lifestyles, and the ecosystems indigenous folks rely on. This is not
Yes!
local sources of energy so that renewable energy in New England is explicit for greed and oppression. We cannot rely on our normal to get outlets. We absolutely cannot allow
I don't think it's as
continue to live in a world that has a livable future for younger generations and folks on the front lines of the climate crisis. So while we fight for urgent change, we must also be aware of how we're asking
I hope my kids do this.
And this is not to say that the work we're doing isn't admirable. Every time youth and adults come out to make strikes, lie, and face to action, we are making impacts and changing how communities are thinking about this crisis. Just look at how much has happened since September 20th alone. This means towns and cities all over Maine either have committed or will likely take bold action in the next 10 years trying to phase out fossil fuels recklessly. This is why later in the strike we're going to be lying down for 10 minutes to represent how many years we have left to take action. We have power and we are making a difference. Each action brings momentum and energy. So keep showing up, getting involved. Sign the organizations over there, just plugging that. Make your voices heard and demand that urgency and action taken in Maine happens now.
Luke Shakara Flanders is a co-founder of Community Water Justice and currently a junior at Freiburg Academy. He is also a member of Sunrise Maine and has been involved in water justice issues for 7 years.
He did a TED Talk too.
Hi everyone, thank you for coming today. Hi, yeah. My name is Luke and I'm coming from Freiburg, Maine. Shout out to the Freiburg Youth Delegation. I am here representing Community Water Justice, a network of frontline communities working for better stewardship of our groundwater through education, policy, and action. As many of you already know, one of the biggest threats we are facing here in Maine is the private ownership and exploitation of our public water sources. Yeah. Poland Springs bottled water, which I'm sure many of you recognize, is owned by Nestle, the largest food and beverage corporation in the world. It is the #1 selling scanned item in all of metropolitan New York City and is now being marketed to people on the West Coast. Nestle is taking the water from our aquifers out of our ecosystem to not only expand their profits, but create a dependency on their brand with little benefit to our communities. The manufacturing of billions of plastic bottles that don't get recycled while inflating the price by 1,000 times to sell back to us and others across the country is a scam that we can't afford to support. Last month, I joined a small delegation to an international conference on water in Ontario, Canada, where we met people from other frontline communities fighting Nestle. What is becoming more clear to me is that Nestle works hard at undermining communities across the globe and privatizes our common wealth in water. This is legalized theft because water is life, all life, and should not be sold for profit. Nestle is using the same tactics of misleading the public, manipulating their way into government, and making empty promises to communities they see as prospects. There are places now in the global south which continue to be exploited to the point that areas that once had a natural abundance of water are now facing significant scarcity. Did you know that in Vitel, France, farmers are now having to truck in their water from remote areas to feed their livestock and orchards, which haven't bloomed for years due to Nestle's decades-long water extraction from that region?
Australia too.
On top of all this, the bottled water industry is deeply connected to the fossil fuel industry. In the US, bottled water companies used over 76 million barrels of oil for production and distribution in a single year. On a global scale, it is estimated that 22 billion plastic water bottles entered the waste stream, ending up in our oceans, waterways, and landfills. Nestle is not the only corporation benefiting from the hyper-exploitation of Maine's natural resources. For example, more than half the state is now engaged in heavy debate over the proposed CMP energy corridor that threatens Maine's western forests and only provides Massachusetts with dirty megadam energy at the grave expense of the indigenous peoples of Quebec, Canada. Up in Belfast, a multinational corporation has proposed a land-based fish farm which would consume millions of gallons of groundwater daily, put hundreds of tons of waste into Penobscot Bay annually, and nearly double the carbon footprint of the entire city of Belfast. On top of that, this will be the largest land-based fish farm in the world. We need to be decentralizing our food systems to be sustainable, not setting up mega farms which will not only harm local fisheries but overconsume and pollute the water. Is this what giving up on our future generations looks like? And why is the state still engaged in a corporate-backed lawsuit to take away the stewardship of the Penobscot River from the Penobscot people?
Technology to do it right.
The Penobscot have done a better job of treating the water with respect than the state or corporations have. So there is no just reason to claim ownership of something that should be stewarded, just as the Penobscots have done for thousands of years before they were disrupted by the horrors of colonization. Previous attorney generals have concluded that the Penobscot River is a part of the Penobscot Reservation, and our generation demands the state to ensure that decision is upheld. 2020 is the 200th so-called birthday of the state of Maine. We can celebrate by respecting the Wabanaki as sovereign nations and finally our agreements. In reality, these issues are all simply different heads of the same monster. All of these industries are benefiting from the disrespect of our most valuable water sources, using the same weaknesses in our government and legal infrastructure. How we treat water is how we show respect. What does it say about our culture? Will you join me in fighting disrespectful and exploitative entities whose prospects destroy our environment? Yes. That's good. Uprooting the destructive power which corporations such as Nestle have come to wield in Maine may seem like an insurmountable task. It may be easier for individuals or organizations to ignore this truth and address problems that have simple solutions. But in doing so, they turn their backs on people living in frontline communities, struggling with the exploitation, destruction, and corruption which threaten to ruin our chance at a stable, healthy future. The best things in life are worth fighting for. And when life itself is at threat, we have no choice. Maine is right on the front line of this crisis. We can't look to national directives or hope that the right presidential candidate will get elected. We cannot delegate all of this important work to the people at the State House or in Washington. We need you. If you are able, we need you to organize, fight on behalf of our commons, fight for marginalized people, support candidates who are willing to throw down in the name of climate justice. Boycott destructive corporations. And empower young people to have a hand in the future we shape today. We need action on behalf of young people and future generations. Join the water and climate justice movements today and let's get the most important jobs done. Thank you.
Hang in there, we know it's cold. But
He's awesome.
last speaker, Jess Valero, is an activist and writer who works with Extinction Rebellion, the People's Housing Coalition, and the 180 Collaborative. They testify regularly at City Council and the State House in the pursuit of social justice. And I'd also like to ask that people stay off the stairs on this side. Thank you. We hold the following to be true. This is our darkest hour. Humanity finds itself embroiled in an event unprecedented in its history. One which, unless immediately addressed, will catapult us further into the destruction of all we hold dear. This nation, its peoples, our ecosystems, and the future of generations to come. The science is clear. We are in the 6th mass extinction event, and we will face catastrophe if we do not act swiftly and robustly. Biodiversity is being annihilated around the world. Our seas are being poisoned, acidic, and rising. Flooding and desertification will render vast tracts of land uninhabitable and lead to mass migration. Our air is so toxic that the United States is breaking the law. It harms the unborn while causing tens of thousands to die. The breakdown of our climate has begun. There will be more wildfires, unpredictable storms, increasing famine, and untold drought as food supplies and fresh water disappear. The ecological crises that are impacted upon the nation and on this planet and its wildlife can no longer be ignored. denied or go unanswered by any beings of sound, rational mind, ethical conscience, moral concern, or spiritual belief. In accordance with these values, the virtues of truth, and the weight of scientific evidence, we declare it our duty to act on behalf of the security and well-being of our children, our communities, and the future of the planet itself. We, in alignment with our consciousness and our reasoning, declare ourselves in rebellion against our government and the corrupt, inept institutions that threaten our future. Displayed by our government has shattered meaningful democracy and cast aside the common interest in favor of short-term gain and private profit. When government and the law fail to provide any assurance of adequate protection and security for its people's well-being and the nation's future, it becomes the right of citizens to seek redress in order to restore dutiful democracy and to secure the solutions needed to avert catastrophe and protect the future. It becomes not only our right, but our sacred duty to rebel. We hereby declare the bonds of the social contract to be null and void. The government has rendered them invalid by its continuing failure to act appropriately. We call upon every principled and peaceful citizen to rise with us. We refuse to bequeath a dying planet to future generations by failing to act now. We act in peace with ferocious love of these lands in our hearts. We act on behalf of life.
Thank you, Jess, and thank you to all of our speakers.
All right, thanks for coming
Try
out.
and get close up.
Out
when-
there,
when it's
among you
happening.
guys, are
Yeah, get
people
this
who are
part really
willing to
good.
destroy our environment. There they are. There's one there. And another one. Marshals, get them and bring them forward so that they can be judged. Get up! Get up! Here is our honorable judge and Mother Gaia standing witness.
Before this court begins this legendary procedure, I ask all of you to recognize that you are standing on Wabanaki land. To begin now, you are charged with high crimes against Mother Earth, who stands witness thereof. Central Maine Power, you are accused of planning a corridor through Maine's forests against the will of the people. How do you plead?
Not guilty. I'm an energy creator.
You plead not guilty. Bath Iron Works, you are accused of polluting the Kennebec River. How do you plead?
Not guilty. What I've done is legal.
You plead not guilty?
That's right.
Monsanto, you are accused of creating herbicides that will damage our forests and our meadows. How do you plead?
Not proven. I did nothing wrong. I'm not guilty.
You plead
Fuck
not
Monsanto!
guilty? Nestle, you have been accused here and elsewhere of stealing Maine's groundwaters, Mother Earth's lifeblood, How do you plead?
Not guilty. What I did was legal.
You plead not guilty? Maine Department of Environmental Protection? You are accused of allowing these companies to defile Maine's earth and Maine's water. How do you plead?
This is a witch hunt. We're all job creators. We're innocent.
You plead not guilty? Now, I turn to you, the people's jury. How do you find guilty or not guilty?
Guilty!
Central Maine Power?
Guilty. Guilty.
Monsanto?
Guilty.
Nestle's?
Guilty.
And Maine Department of Environmental Protection?
Guilty.
You have been found guilty. Take them away, bailiffs. Take them away. Jury, you've done a fine job.
We are in the midst of the sixth mass extinction. This is an emergency.
Okay.
Time to act with courage and conviction is now. The time for half measures is over, because this is what extinction looks like.
Woke up this morning with my mind set on striking. Woke up this morning with my mind set on striking. Woke up this morning with my mind set on striking. Let us strike, let us strike, let us strike down. Woke up this morning with my mind set on striking. Woke up this morning with my mind set on striking. Woke up this morning with my mind set on striking. Let us strike, let us strike, let us strike. Courage, my friends, you do not lie alone. Nope. That doesn't work. We will strike with you and sing your spirit home.
Such a good boy. So cute. So good at the lion. Yeah. Oh my god. When are they gonna lay down? I think it's 10 minutes to signify 10 years. I had to get up. I was freezing. Yeah, I would imagine. Cold. Some dedication here. Right. I didn't know what to write, so I stole the Extinction Rebellion. Declaration of Rebellion. I was like, I don't know what to write. So I was like, is it cool if I just like state the rebellion? Hi. Hello, friend. You're so good. You're so good. Oh wow. Oh, you look so good for your age. So handsome. So good, baby. Got 5 dogs. He has to smell them all. Some good sniffs here, yeah. Hi. Hi. I'm gonna finish this, okay?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't do it.
Love your hat.
Thank you. Hat, scarf, mittens, all built in.
Yeah.
Just the thing this time of year.
Adios, guys.